Thick eye voice. Thick eye voice.
My name's Riley. I'm 20. I'm a marketer. I'm from Ohio. I had time off of work and school so I could come visit, and I would spend some time in Korea, and then I came to Tokyo.
My name is Jack. I am 25. What I do for work is mainly I do pictures, street photography.
Hello, my name is Trenton Williams. I'm 27 years old. Right now I'm working at a place called Nebraska Furniture as a furniture mover, but I'm actually a film major. I just graduated from film school last year.
I'm 20.
My name's Adanya Mitchum. I'm from Missouri. It's a state in America. It's in the Midwest area. I'm a student. I don't have a job right now. I am an illustration student with a minor in animation.
It just seemed like a really interesting place, and I've always wanted to come here. Best experience being here. I mean, just being here in general is kind of an achievement to myself. I don't think I've had any bad experience here so far. Everything's been pretty easygoing. The culture, it's everyone's very respectful here, and over there it can get crazy.
My family friend just got a job in Korea, and it seems like such a cool place that I wanted to just check it out. You know, I think it's definitely in terms. I'm from a rural place, so not a lot of cities, and I like the cities here more than in the U.S. They're a bit cleaner, a little bit more efficient. Like the public transit is nice. Yeah, I like just exploring and kind of walking around and seeing pretty much every street. There's something cool to see.
I've always wanted to visit Japan since I was in middle school. It was definitely because I started watching anime, my dad watches anime. He was always into Dragon Ball. So I've always kind of had anime in my life. It's what inspired me to draw. The films of Hayao Miyazaki were a big inspiration in my childhood. But I started getting more into online communities when it came to anime and manga. But then that got me into Japanese culture, and then it got me into Japanese language. And I'm like, I want to study more of this, and I want to know more about Japanese culture beyond just its art. I want to know more about its religion, its architecture, its food. So I was like, can I go abroad? Please, please. And my mom was like, we can't afford that. So I got to college and they had an abroad program. So she was like, we're gonna get you to Japan no matter what. So
I live in southern Ohio, and we have a lot of culture, and it's close to a river right next to other states, and so I really like that there's a lot to do in that area. I'm really proud of our sports teams. We have major league soccer, football, baseball, very fun to watch. But I like the culture there. They're very polite. The Midwestern people are very polite.
My life in Texas, I guess it's a good life. I'm still currently with my parents, making decent money out of school. I feel blessed for everything that I have right now in my life. The dream is to eventually, one day in the future, be writing and directing my own films. Right now, I'm just looking for a starter job in the industry so I can learn and work my way to the top. I'm from a smaller place called McKinney, Texas. It's a very nice place. It's a very kind of suburban place. I live on a golf course. I go golfing on the weekends. I got a good group of buddies. I hang out with a lot of people up at my church on a daily basis. I don't know what's unique about Texas. Everyone thinks in Texas we're a bunch of cowboys riding around on horses with revolvers, but I guess we're kind of similar to you guys, just not like Tokyo with all the big buildings. A very friendly place. People, they're tough, but everyone is willing to kind of stand up for one another, and people really care about each other. Meanwhile, in more northern states in Texas, I don't think it's as hospitable, I guess I would say.
Montana is drastically different from here. It's like, I grew up in a town of 120 people. This is like 30 million. So like lots of outdoors and not a lot of buildings or anything like that. So it's definitely lots more nature in Montana. But this is a cool change of pace.
Like when you travel from one state to the next, there's like differences as far as like scenery. How do I say it? Sometimes the architecture can change also. So like traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast, it's a lot. It's like very different architecturally.
I like everything's very big there. There's lots of space and lots of fresh air because there's not a lot of people where I live. I don't like as much, a lot of times our government. I don't love that as much. Gun control is a big issue. Women's rights, those are a big issue. International involvement in political conflicts is a big issue.
I'm gonna finish university and then maybe go to law school. And then I'm gonna, just live life and hopefully try and be happy and make other people happy around me. I don't have maybe become a lawyer, but I don't have any definite set in stone plans for the future. It's definitely if you're a lawyer, you make pretty good money. I'm torn personally between making a lot of money and just working your entire life and that's all you do, and having experiences like this where you're where you're traveling and seeing the world and learning through that perspective, So I think that yes, in general, lawyers are pretty wealthy, but I don't know if that's my main goal.
Being able to, I guess, travel around a little bit has opened my mind up to potentially moving out of Las Vegas in the future. But as of right now, I think I am stuck there for a while. Yeah, it's getting very expensive. I guess it seems like there is more opportunity in bigger cities. It's more people that obviously want pictures taken. So yeah, I mean, it could be a possibility.
I want to be a concept artist. Yeah, either for television or for video games. But I also want to be an animator. I want to do freelance work for animation studios here, Toei, especially for their One Piece team. They hire a lot of freelancers, and I hear such good things about their experience with Toei Animations. And I follow a lot of them on Twitter, Vincent Chansard and CT Bam and Hone Hone. And I'm these are my idols, and they say how good it is to freelance with Toei. And I'm I want to get started there, hopefully, when I get out of college.
Honestly, I'm not too sure. I wouldn't be able to tell you myself. I'm considered Gen Z, but I don't know. I don't me myself. How do I say it? I don't like a lot of the ideals and whatnot the Gen Z kind of has or shares. So I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Gen Z, I feel we're kind of the generation that's stuck kind of dealing with a lot of issues that are going on in our countries. It's a very political time right now. It's rough. I feel Gen Z, especially in the West, has a reputation of being very loud and opinionated with our politics. But I almost feel in this day and era, it's kind of a must almost to kind of be loud about our opinions. I have very strong opinions about American politics because I feel I must, because I feel America at the moment is not in a good political situation. Our presidential elections are this year, and I don't have any good opinions about any of the presidential candidates. I would say the normal interest for American girls. I would say that anime and manga especially has kind of it's in a huge zeitgeist in America, especially among young adults and teenagers in America. So yeah, it's not the huge craze isn't boy bands anymore. It's anime now. I would say K-pop most definitely has a hold on like girls my age, but anime is the must. Yeah. When you try to start a conversation with someone over in America and they're a young adult, just say, "What anime do you watch?" And I assure you they will have an answer. Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer, and probably Haikyuu.
I'll say that I'm a steadfast conservative. I'm more on the conservative than the left side. Pulling one right now, making changes, or to me, positive changes that are for what I believe in.
I don't really like politics in the U.S. because it's very divided. I don't support Donald Trump. I don't really support Joe Biden either. I think that it's two bickering heads of different parties that are just trying to oppose each other instead of coming together and trying to fix some of America. Like, I mean, I'm sure you've heard about like the gun violence that's like the mass shootings occur all of the time in the States. It's just, it's crazy to me that so many people feel the need to just end other people's lives. And it's definitely a point of contention right now because like one side of the party wants to like restrict gun control or make it more strict, and then the other side of the party wants to not do that. So but there's got to be an option. There's got to be some sort of solution in terms of like stopping these mass shootings because like there's probably been more mass shootings in the U.S. than the amount of days there has been in the U.S. I really try and not involve myself too heavily in politics because when you start like really investing in politics, it just like causes some like division that I really don't like. Like I think we should all love each other, you know?
It's a high chance it probably will be Donald Trump again. Even though he's a convicted felon, I don't know how he can still run for the Republican nominee, but he can. So it's likely he'll be the candidate, and Joe Biden will be the Democratic candidate again. But honestly, it really could be a toss-up. I'm not confident in saying who could win because Joe Biden's huge kind of support was in Gen Z, but he's kind of lost a lot of support with the younger generation because of how he's been responding to the crisis in Palestine. So that was a huge deal breaker where a lot of people have been really frustrated with how he's kind of refused to stop supporting Israel when it comes to their situations in Palestine and how they've been treating the Palestinian people. So because I don't like Republicans, I do hope that Joe Biden will win, but I say that extremely reluctantly.
No comment. No comment.
It's very hard. Like, one thing that struck me about being here is like, if you go to a city in the US, you'll no doubt see hundreds of homeless people. And it's not that, I mean, there is like a drug epidemic going on right now, but there's that factor, but it's also just America's very expensive to live in. Like the cost of living, like relative to most places in the world, is crazy. That's killing more people in America than car crashes. I honestly don't know. Like, it's hard to, like, I have fortunately grown up in a blessed place and had a loving family to support me, but I don't know if, you know, if it's hard to get through the day for someone who on paper seems like their life is hopeless. And I think that, yeah, that's like the kind of like the the American dream of like making it is kind of harder than it seems within a capitalist society. So, you know, I think it's a lot of luck, honestly. I think it's some luck that goes into your societal status, which is really unfortunate, you know? Like, there's definitely some cases of people that, like, have worked their tails off and they've made it up, but for a lot of people, it's just like, it seems nearly impossible. And as you were saying, like the hope, like having hope throughout for it to get better, like after 15, 20, 30 years of working your tail off and not really seeing any progress, it is kind of hard to have that hope, you know?
The future of the United States is, I think that the United States will continue to get tensions. The tension will continue to grow. I think there has been a huge bubble of kind of just, people are kind of just sitting and waiting until I think that bubble will eventually explode. I think finally kind of just, people have been angry kind of with how politics and politicians have been behaving in America, and they really haven't been helpful when it comes to serving the American people. They've been kind of increasing police presence. They've been spending more money on police than in other sections. Our kind of public school system is terrible. They don't want to, there's been an outcry for public transportation in America, and they almost refuse to do so. And they're not there for people. So I think that after the election, I think public outcry will become a problem that politicians will have to deal with. And I hope that they deal with it in a solid way where they listen to us instead of just ignoring us.